Hey guys, Tech Timmy here. So in this video, we are going to attempt to unbox and assemble the CCCEI, so three C's, E for Ernie, I for ice cream, printer and computer tower stand with charging station, and we're gonna do it right now. Let's go. Hey guys, all right, so you have to bear with me here as I'm on a little bit of a different rig. This is a good sized box. I have this up on my coffee table right now. The box itself is basically no frills. There's, really no other information on here other than what I read out at the beginning of the video. It's very heavy. This one looks like it's been potentially retaped, which is always a little bit of a concern. The outer box, I complain about this a lot. If you watch my videos, you'll know. But my packages are like getting smashed up constantly. I don't know what is going on with delivery lately, but the outer box was ripped up pretty good. The outer box was an Amazon box. This inside one looks like it didn't sustain any damage. Hopefully the damage to the outer box is no indicator of what is going on the package on the inside. It is heavy, so there's the shelving in here and so forth, and some of the metal parts are whatever they are probably fairly heavy, and that's probably a good sign. I suspect this is going to be a little bit involved, so you may want to grab a glass of water or a cup of coffee or something if you want to go through this process with me. I am not an expert assembler by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm going to do my best to get this set up in as seamless and efficient a manner as possible. And now I see that there are several pieces here to deal with already, of course. So let's have some fun, right? So we also have some styrofoam. Hopefully that does not translate to little styrofoam boogies that fall off and go on my carpet everywhere. I would suggest I think what I'm going to suggest is that we put the box on the side and slide everything out that way. It looks like it wants us to do that. So that's my story, and we're going to stick with that. So I'm going to try and slide everything out this way. I looked for an unboxing and or assembly video for this online. I couldn't find anything. Description on Amazon claims that it's very easy to assemble. Look at the number of parts here and the number of steps and the directions. It looks like this may be a little bit involved. Yep, we have 10 pieces of hardware and easily 10 or 15 shelving pieces or parts and so forth that we're going to have to deal with here. So I'm going to go through step by step, and if you want to come along for the journey with me here, please don't shoot the messenger. Like I said, I'm not an expert installer, but I will do my best. And I typically do tech reviews and unboxings and tech videos and so forth. And, does this qualify? I guess. I mean, it's a printer stand table, but it does have some tech components to it. And yeah, so it is absolutely those shelves that are heavy. So, which again, I guess is a good thing. It looks like these were, machine engineered so that we have things like, hopefully not square pegs and round holes, but we certainly have some round holes here, and so it's one of those jobbers. So it's like an IKEA type assembly or what have you. For better or worse, we're gonna give this a try and see how we do. So interestingly, the pieces are all labeled. So what I'm gonna do now is I am going to fast forward the video. I'm gonna shut up. And I'm going to fast forward the video here, and what I'm going to do, and I suggest you do as well, is I'm going to lay all of the pieces out in alphabetical order as best I can, if that makes sense, or in some order that makes sense. I'm going to lay them out on the table. You can follow along, but I'm going to speed up this part of the video. I'll play a little soothing background music for you as I do it. But yeah, so let me get us organized, and then we'll actually get into the assembly. So here it goes. So magic of video editing, fast forward now. Woo! All right, so I have everything laid out here. I also laid out the hardware in numerical order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, all the way up to 10. We have 10 different hardware bags. So we can get rid of this guy for now. And I tried to lay out the parts also in alpha order. So with A being over here, I don't know if you can see it. And then I think these might be B, and then and that thing might be B as well. But we're gonna go step by step through the directions. I will try and lift the parts up to as close to the camera as possible for each step, so that hopefully make it a little bit easier for you guys. That's what I would want to see. But yeah, it looks pretty involved, and I love that there's no, so we have pictures only with no text-based instructions, but I guess we might as well start with the front page here. So this is what it's going to look like when we're done. And so we have all of our parts here. I will not go through reading them off, but we have the little wooden dowels. Gotta love those. Remember those from the assemblies and so forth? Pretty crazy. And then we have a number of different screws and some other things. It's nice that they put them separately in bags. I'm gonna try and keep them in their bags, and so that way they don't end up going all over the place. So please test if the charging station is working properly. If there are any quality problems, please contact blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna do that right now. So it's gonna work. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. If not, we're gonna get another power brick. That's fine. I'm sure it will work just fine. So I'm sorry for being a little bit of a Debbie Downer there. Okay, so number one, we basically are going to need, it looks like a couple of these guys, so some number 8s. So I'm working on number 1. I'm focused on that right there, making those connections. And so the 9s are gonna have to go in. So I guess first we might as well, I guess F is the, there's always an F, right? So F is the first one that they want us to grab. So we're gonna grab that. So we have 2 Fs, and we'll start with that. And I am going to place them just on top of the hardware for now. And if that gets to be a problem, I'll set the hardware aside. But so we're gonna need our Fs. So F times 2, yep, that's what we have. And we're gonna need some 8s, 1s, so 1s are the wooden dowels, and 9s. So 9s are the little gazintas that screw into these holes here. So let's grab those. So let's grab the 9s. Might as well start there. And like I said, another time for the standard disclaimer, I am not a professional installer, but we're gonna give this our best shot. Like I said, I could not find a video out there for this. So hopefully this helps someone out there, because it's just so much easier if you have more of a visual reference or at least some text, but hey, it is what it is. So, okay, so these are the number 9s, and it looks like it wants us to stick them in there, and they probably need to face a certain way based on that guy there. So I'm gonna put that there for now, and I'm just gonna leave them sort of loosey-goosey in there for the moment. And probably we wanna face that edge towards the outer hole. So let's do that. I think that's probably a safe bet, knowing that I've done a few of these things in my day. Again, not a professional installer here, but okay, so then we have those 2. So that much is done, good. And these 2 next. Certain parts of the video, what I'll do to speed things up is I'll stop talking, and I will just put certain parts on fast forward so that we can get through this a little bit more quickly and as least painful manner as possible. So for example, I'll shut up right now, and here we go. All right, so next up, we're gonna grab our 2 number 8s, and it looks like you're gonna need a screwdriver for this. I cheated, I went off camera and picked up my Star Wars screwdriver here. Pretty cool, right? And if that doesn't work, I have my traditional screwdriver here as well. But so it looks like it wants us to put the number 8 gazintas in this hole here, like so. And then that one's gonna go in there, like that. But before you do that, we are going to want to do the same thing on the other side. Now, we have 2 additional holes there that is probably gonna want us to stick some dowels in, and indeed it does. Okay, so let me get those out next. So we have the 2 number 8s, 1 on each side there, and then we're going to grab the dowels next, and we're gonna do, whoop, more dowels flying everywhere here. Wooden dowel, love the wooden dowel, right? I don't see any glue in the box. Sometimes they want you to glue these, but it looks like we're generally gonna be okay. And so I'm gonna stick the dowels in there. These guys seem to be in place. Maybe you give them a little twist or a turn, but I think activating, that's a pretty technical term, isn't it? When we screw the screwy thing in, the screwy thing yet. I think that's going to solidify the connection, basically. So I'm going to do that here as well as here. And I'm not loving the screwdriver. I should have stuck with option A, right? You know, when all else fails, go to Star Wars. No, Star Wars one isn't big enough. Okay, so you're going to need a good size Phillips head here. Well, this one isn't great as well. I may actually cheat again and go with an even larger one. But it seems like this is going to do just fine. And you'll want to give those a full turn until they stop turning, and then you'll be connected. Okay, so that's step one. One down, a bunch to go. Okay. I believe we have our 9s, our 1s, 8s, yep, F times 2. Okay, so we have step 1 done. So now for step 2, do we also just complete step 2 as well? I think maybe we did. It looks like it's just a repeat of that same diagram. We get the dowels, we got the gazintas, we got the gazadas in there. And we got the turn, and then, oh, I know you're gonna hammer me with comments if I don't get step 2, but I think we got it actually. What I don't like is that it's not showing it connected, but it could just be an artifact of the thing. So we're gonna move on to step 3. So step 3, we have D and E times 3, it says. So it looks like it's going to want us to make multiple connections. So we'll go and do that next. And we have, for this, we have these longish parts, and it looks like we don't need anything but the D and E pieces, right? So let's grab the D's and E's, which I think I have here. So we're not going into alphabetical order, which is interesting. Let's just make sure, go back to our trusty inventory list here. And so the D and the E, so D is the little one, and E is the slightly longer one. Okay, so that we can do. So we have D is a little one. E, that's an E, and that's a D. And it looks like it just wants us to slide that guy in there. So that's A. Even Tech Timmy can pull that off, right? All right, so we have that one. And it says times 3. So we're gonna do it 3 times. D and E. Hopefully you guys get the general idea what's going on here. And then D and E. All right, so this is an easy step. I like the step. Nice and easy. Okay, so now we have times 3 with those. Good. And we're going to go back to our directions. And okay, so now we have, we got this done, step 3. And now, so step 4, it looks like it wants us to do the D and E thing that we just assembled. It wants us to screw that into the middle of the F's. All right, let's just do one of them. All right, let's just see how this goes here. Okay, so we have, they all look identical, at least as far as I can tell. Or is this one slightly different? Nope. Yeah, so they're all identical. Okay, so we're gonna put that over here, and then it looks like it wants us to do that. It looks like. Let me just see. Do we have it facing the right way? Yep. And so it looks like, so we have the 2 holes in the center, and it looks like it's going to want us to use the number 3. I'm going to call those bolts instead of screws, just for, I don't know, just to mix it up a little bit. And so number 3, and I'll fast forward the process of putting these inside, and yeah. I can find some interesting music for you guys while I'm doing this. What I don't see is a ratchet wrench, and it looks like there is one. It's number 2. So number 2 is the ratchet wrench, so let's take that out of the bag. Okay, so that seems to secure it nicely to F. So now we have sort of a much more solid F. I believe that's going to end up being one of our shelves. At least I think so. Don't quote me on that. All right, so there's that step. So, okay. So now we're back over here. And now it's going to want us to G. So the ones that look like a proper, well, what do they look like? That guy. I was gonna say H, but it's not an H because it's a really weird H if it was an H. A horseshoe maybe, or very square horseshoe. Okay, so G times 2, and so we're gonna have to use the number 4 is gonna go into the top of the G. So I'm going to set this guy aside for now. Presumably it's going to, oh, I see. It's going to have us make more of those shell, well, just not yet. So we're just dealing with F so far. Are there multiple Fs? There are. So F times 2, we're gonna have to do that as well, it looks like. Yep, okay. Let me just see. So that's what it was telling us here, F times 2. There it is, yep. So let me do that right now and we'll go on fast forward. Okay, so we got this assembled together, and now I am going to put this guy on here, just like I did the other one. All right, so now that's nice and tight, like a tight tagger. And so we have 2 of these guys now. So one here, just to kind of prove the point here. Here's the other one. And I don't know if that's the top or what, but we'll take a look at that in a second. And we're going to resume our directions. I'm just going to set these aside behind me. There's my couch, so I won't get nervous. I'm just going right over there for a second. And here we're going to go. So we got that done. We got this done. Times 2. Times 2. And now we want to use the U-shaped thing. That's the shape that I was going for before. It looks like a U, Timmy, right? All right. So it looks like we have an extra one of these sticks, and I have a feeling I know where that's going to go, but we're not gonna jump ahead. We're just gonna keep going here. All right. So we got one of these U things, and then it looks like we're going to need a number 4. Number 4. To go. Where the number 4s going, Timmy? It looks like at the. If you're looking, if it's a U, it's the bottom of the U. That's where the number 4 needs to go. So I'm gonna open this up. And that doesn't seem right. Okay, so it wants us to grab G. This apparently is not a G. There's only one G. Oh no, there's 2. There's 2 G's. But it's the one that, it's the U with the feet on the bottom. So that makes a lot more sense. And this indeed does screw into there. So we have regular U's, and then we have U's with feet. And I don't know if it wants us to screw them all the way in. It looks like it's just telling us to screw them in there, so that's what we're gonna do. This might be the bottom of the, I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna put those in there. We'll fast forward here as well. All right, so we have both of our U's with the feet completed. With the actual feet's on the bottom there. I'm going to call them feet. I'm not really sure that's what they are, but I'm going to put these behind me for the time being. Because I think we need to go deal with some other stuff next. So we got that step done. And now, this is where the magic happens, it looks like. It looks like the U's we just created need to be connected to the F's with some 3's. Okay, so we got the U's, the F's, and the 3's. So let me grab the U with feet and one of our lovely F's that we assembled not too long ago. And let's take another look at the picture. And it looks like, yep. All right, so it looks like the feet are going to end up on the same side as the rail. That's a good name for that rail. I'm going to call it a rail going forward here, okay? And let's grab our U, and I'm gonna put this faces this way like the picture. I'm gonna grab the U, and it seems like that is going to go. And it seems to be a good fit, actually. So it seems like this is going to go here, like that. Let's see what I did there. All right, so that's kind of key. All right, so number 3, more of these long boy, what do we call them? Bolts. Long boy bolts. And then presumably we're going to need the little ratchet again that I've already lost, have I? It's here somewhere. We're going to find it. I'm not going to panic. There it is under all the stuff. All right, so now we're going to put this here. And then it looks like it's going to want all 3's. So I'm going to, probably can't see that, can you? Oh, shoot. Right, I'm going to start by screwing this guy in here. And that seems to make sense there. And so this guy on the side right here. Just using my hand for now. We'll tighten it up later. We're not going to panic. And it looks like these guys are going to go right in here. And this is the bottom of the unit, it seems to be. Don't quote me on that yet. All right, so this one's going to go here. Yep, sort of. It's definitely not in there very, very strong right now. Okay, got to pick that up. Yeah, I would say, if you have a friend that can help you with this kind of stuff, definitely. I think this definitely I'm managing as a one-person job, but if you have a buddy up on this because it'll make it a little bit easier, somebody can hold the thing for you. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna tighten all these screws. I'm gonna fast forward through this. So mission accomplished on that side. Now I'm gonna do the other one. All right, so it's starting to look like a printer table a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I guess one of the nice things about this is that the more you get into it, the fewer things you have to deal with, right? Okay, so that's this. That's that guy. And now next, we are going to, so beyond step, times 3, interesting. 3 screws. Yep, so only two shoves. Okay, so now it wants us to, that's showing us the other side. So step 7's done. Now step 8, we're gonna have to take the traditional U's and stick them into the U's, U, B, and UC, into the U's with the feet. Okay, that I think we can handle. But for this, the rest of this, I'm going to adjust my camera. So I'll pause the video here and do that real quick, and then we'll get right back into it. Here. So we're sticking the U's and the U's right side up. So B on the left and C on the right, assuming that there is a left and a right. And these are not labeled, so let's see. One of them has, so B and C, one of them has these guys here. So pay attention to that for sure. And it looks like it wants that one on the left. So that's what we're gonna do. So the good news is I already started doing that. So I'm just gonna move my camera here. Let's see if I can get this. So that seems to slide nice in there. All right, so for this next phase of the assembly, I'm going to have the camera tilted just a little bit so I can show you what I did. So basically I stuck these guys, the regular U's, into the U's with the bottom, and now we have, I'll show you exactly what we have. We have something that looks like that. So that's the step that I just did, B and C, with B being on the left. But I'm wondering if the gazintas, if these little guys here from B need to be on the outside or the inside. And I guess we'll find that out soon enough. Okay, so now that we have this part done, we're going to move on here to the next part. And it looks like we have, so 5, it's going to want us to mount the screws. And it does slightly look like, based on the photo, that those little gazintas are on the inside of the shelf. So that's what we're going with for now. And we need to grab some 5s and basically secure the U with the feet to the regular U. Okay, so let's do that next. And now I'll use the shelf under here. There we go. So here are our 5s, which we have not opened yet. That's what the 5s are, they're the little ones. And on this, it wants us to secure them from the inside of the thing facing outward. And I'm going to repeat that on the other side. All right, so at this point, I did a little bit of housekeeping. I got all the sort of the remaining parts organized and put my tools over off to the right-hand side here. And we're ready to proceed with step, it looks like step 10, which is installing the other shelf, or maybe even the main shelf, the shelf you're gonna put your printer on, I suppose. And so that is the F, our friendly friend, the F. And it looks like it's gonna want us to install that with a bunch of 3s, similar to what we did with the other shelf. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and fast forward through it. All right, very cool. This is starting to look like a shelf, which I guess is the idea, right? So we have our 3s, we got the up under, so I flipped it over to do that part. And now it wants us to install, it looks like the remaining bar, whatever that is, going across the top. So we have 2 more number 3 screws, and then our last bar, which I'm not sure if we had a number for that, but let's flip this over first. All right, guys, so we're in the home stretch here. So step 11, it basically involves taking the remaining, what do we call these, rail, and installing it so that it looks like it wants the holes pointing up with just 2 number 3 screws for each side. Okay, so I got the rail installed. Now it looks like, I'm not really sure if I missed a step or if that's the bottom of the unit or the top, but it definitely looks like it wants us to flip it over. And we have two more of the Fs, I believe, or the things that look like Fs. That's just times 2, not times 3, though. So maybe we'll go back to our original part list. Yeah, so this is A and H that we're dealing with next here, not F. So we're fine. And so we're going to deal with A and H next. Okay, so I did miss a step earlier, step 2 in fact. So I thought this was telling us about F again, but it's actually A and H. So I would say basically the A and H is going to be assembled just like the F. So no harm, no foul. We should be totally fine. Not going to have to go back and redo anything. But we're going to want to stick those two individual parts together to form the final shelf. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that offline right now. All right, so I assembled shelf A and H just like I did F. The process was identical. The last bit is, this is probably, or one of the last piece steps. This is probably the trickiest one. So basically, here's my A and H shelf. We got to get these holes to line up with these guys. And then this is going to come up this way. So if you have it right side up, which I have it now, I believe, then we're going to have to line up the hole just right to get that to go. So let me just see if I can do it this way. And yeah, so I'm gonna try reaching under. If this doesn't work, I'll flip it over and we'll try it that way. But you won't be able to see it either way because the shelf is gonna block the camera view. So hopefully I can just, yeah, if you poke the bolt out just enough to find the hole, you should be able to screw it in there. Now what I didn't do is I did not attach that piece, number 10 piece that I showed you before, that has the tape on it. So it has already told us to do that as well. So we can go ahead and do that. So I'm peeling off the tape, and you're just going to have to go by the picture and line it up as closely as possible to what is in the illustration there. Okay, let's see if I can show you here. Maybe in the light you'll be able to see. So here. So there we have it right there between the two. And that looks pretty dang close to what's in the photo there, I'm hoping. So I think we're going to be okay on that. Okay, so that's step 12 completed. And moving on, okay, step 13 is next here. So now it wants us to, it looks like, further secure the regular U-shaped rails to the top here. So yeah, indeed. So we have underneath, we have two more holes that are open, so there's no bolts in those yet. So that's the plan next, is I'm going to insert, I believe it's number 3, and indeed it is number 3 to secure basically the top shelf onto the unit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Number three. Good old number 3. a little bit of carnage here. My reader's broke. I believe that was step 13, and indeed it was. So we secured our friend top shelf to the base. And now we get into, wants us to install the surge protector or whatever that outlet thingamabob there. And we're going to use number 7 screws in order to do that. So I'm going to flip the table over. And so here is where we need to install this bad ladder here. And it looks like I made the right call by, I hope I did, by having those be on the inside, and indeed. So it looks nice. So that is going to flush. So these guys, if you follow along what I did, are recessed under, and that's going to make this be flush on the inside of the unit, which is kind of cool. All right, so mission accomplished on step 14. So as you can see, I now have my outlet thingamabob attached. It does look like it is a surge protector of some type. I do like that there's USB-C in addition to regular USB there. So that's cool. Hopefully I'll be able to charge my iPhone using this thing. And then it looks like that this guy, they don't tell you, but it looks like that was for cable management of some type. So maybe you can finagle the cord so that it goes up and then runs along through the back. And then so we have step 15, we have a 6 and a 5, and it looks like that may also be for cable management of some type. I'm not really sure, but it's just installing this last little gazinter on here. So it's this thing here. And it looks like this is gonna require a number 5 bolt, and that's just gonna go up under on the opposite side where you installed your surge protector. So I think that once this is on, which you're not gonna be able to see me do, amen, we're done. I would like to say that this was an easy assembly, but as you can probably tell from the video, it definitely takes some finagling. But like I said, hopefully the video helped you. If it does, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I really appreciate it a lot. And please consider subscribing to the channel. I do all sorts of tech reviews, basically, but not nerdy tech reviews. I do tech reviews very much from a lay person's perspective and sort of chronicling my journey with all of these various smart home devices and things that I've been buying as someone that does not, I'm definitely not a rocket scientist or far from it. So if you wouldn't mind considering subscribing to the channel, I really appreciate it. And like I said, hope you got some value from this video. Enjoy your printer stand. Hope it went well, and hope to see you in the next video. Cheers.